you're real. If you ain't real, I'm kicking you out the fucking door. Do you see my girlfriend? She's fucking hot. What does she think? I'm getting sex just because I got some chocolate covered strawberries? Is that how that works? Because that's not definitely how that works.
God, okay.
Do you eat ass?
What?
Do you eat ass?
Gosh, I'm fucking This motherfucker really just asked me if I eat ass. No, I don't be eating booty. All right, welcome back to JNK Uncensored, the podcast. Woo! Yeah, that's right, baby. This is Kat. Unfortunately, Josh, let's get the elephant out of the room. I know you guys are wondering, why are you by yourself? For those who don't follow us on Instagram, maybe you should go follow us on Instagram at JNK Uncensored. Josh is going through a hard time right now and just kind of needs to take a step back and focus on himself and his mental health right now. We're not sure how long, you can never really be sure how long you need until you feel like you're ready to return back and start going back into it, So I respect him. We're a team. We work as a team. Not only we are teammates, we're also friends. And when one is not as sound at the moment, the other one takes over and steps up. And I have no problem doing that. And hopefully, if that were ever me, I would want Josh to do the same. That's what friends are for, man. Unlike... Just gonna dive into the other awkward thing I shall say. Oh boy, let's just dive into it, right? I don't want to talk about too much about Josh when he isn't here, and I don't know what he wants to talk about, but I just wanted to address why he wasn't here, and maybe he won't be here for the next podcast or so. We don't know. I don't know. But yeah, let's just get right into the other elephant in the room, right? What's up with the Oscars that happened, right? I mean, come on. What the fuck was that, Will? I mean, everybody, it was all over America. Oh, worldwide, right? It was worldwide. G.I. Jane joke Chris Rock fucking makes at the, at the Oscars, and referring to Jada Pinkett Smith. Because she has no hair right now, because she shaved her head because she has alopecia. Very sensitive subject. If you guys don't know, alopecia is a condition where you lose your hair in like patches. So I don't. It's tough, right? Because some people take self-deprecating jokes really well and they're like laughing at it and it like helps to cope, but no, other people it just kind of hits home. And you know what, it hit home for her, and I think Will thought it was funny at first, looked over at his wife, realized she was insulted, and then nobody, I think he immediately kind of felt for his wife in the moment, and that kind of got him upset. He walked over there. Chris Rock slapped him right in the fucking face. Just slapped the fuck out of him. And you know what? Shout out to Chris Rock for staying so professional and just kind of brushing it over and just keep going. I think he handled himself very well, because I don't know how well I would take it if someone just came up to me and slapped me in the fucking face. I'm being honest. I'm just saying. I probably... I don't know. I feel like he was kind of dumbfounded, right? In the moment. Like, I don't think he expected Will to come and slap me. But, before Will came up to slap him, he immediately, I guess, obviously Will and Jada weren't sitting too far from him. And he kind of just looked over at Jada as he was obviously talking about Jada, and then realized that she didn't like the joke. And he was like, oh, come on, that was a good one. Where right there, I kind of think that he realized he insulted her. Do I think that it called for a slap in the face? Absolutely fucking not. I think it could have been handled way better. I think maybe, if you were upset, maybe the yelling, don't keep my fucking wife's name out of your fucking mouth, is what Will said after he slapped him. I think that within itself could have probably sent the message that says, hey, don't disrespect my wife, especially on a worldwide broadcasted live award show. You know what I mean? I get it. It was a distasteful joke. It didn't land. I get why Jada was upset. I get why Will was upset. Do I think that it deserved a slap in the face? No, I don't think it deserved a slap in the face. But that brings me to kind of my next segue, where it's kind of seeming like Twitter, right? Kind of does this Twitter, Instagram, social media basically in general, where they kind of go and kind of maybe one person has an opinion, and if that's the popular opinion, everybody kind of just goes to that and sticks to their guns because of fear of maybe having a different opinion on things. Which is why, JNK Uncensored, I think we named it Uncensored because we didn't want to censor how we really felt about things, anything that is edited out of our podcast is primarily just maybe like quirkiness or awkward silence or things like that. Maybe long pauses. For the most part, or maybe we were going off on a tangent. For the most part, we keep everything kind of just raw and cut, and we give our opinions whether people are going to agree with us or not. And I feel like a lot of people don't think that way. I think that group thinking is a really big thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people kind of just bandwagon off of what other people think and have to say. So that just kind of just makes me wonder what you guys think. Did he deserve the slap? Would you have slapped him if he insulted your wife? Would you have maybe pulled him aside afterwards and had a private conversation? Would you have just yelled from the crowd? I want to know. Leave a comment below, or DM us on Twitter or Instagram or something like that at JNK Uncensored. I want to know. Maybe next week's podcast, I'll go ahead and I'll look at those, and I genuinely, I think it's interesting. I want to hear other people's opinions on what happened, and I just also want to get you guys' opinion on: do you think that you are an independent thinker, or you think you lean more towards kind of a peacemaker, if you will, where you kind of don't want to say something because you have this crippling fear that your thoughts are going to be interpreted the wrong way and insult someone or rub somebody the wrong way? Because I feel like a lot of people think that, and I know that I have done that in the past, with friends, avoiding, like, let's say, for example, like I tried in the past. I don't feel like I'm this way anymore, but I think that in the past I used to avoid a lot of conflict, and my feelings would hurt and just kind of boil over because I was just afraid of hurting the other person's feeling. And I don't think I'm like that anymore, because I feel like that within itself, like a conversation could fix 98% of the world's problems. I feel like, honestly, like whether it's politics, whether it's gossip, whether it's petty arguments on the school ground, like I think 98% of the world's problems genuinely could be fixed with a conversation. Maybe it was a misunderstanding, and if two adults could just sit down and have a conversation and hash it out respectfully, I think that a lot of things could be avoided, but I think a lot of people have this mentality where they're kind of passive aggressive, or they're completely passive and just let people walk all over them, and I don't really necessarily think that's a good thing. Now, hear me out. I don't mean that just because you have a passive way of thinking is necessarily a bad thing in most circumstances, right? I'm saying someone genuinely was in the wrong, genuinely hurt your feelings, and you kind of just, instead of expressing yourself because you're afraid of what the other person might think or what the other person might have to say, you're kind of just like dismissive of it entirely, and then the person just keeps doing the same thing, so then you just let it boil over, and either one, you explode, or two, you kind of just exile your friend because you couldn't, or you didn't want to have a conversation with a person and let them know what they did upset you. And I think that what I've learned over the years is that it's 10 times better if you just be honest. I don't mean that you shouldn't, like, you should be confrontational about every little thing and you should let every little thing blow up and become this bigger problem than what it actually is. But I think that if someone genuinely hurt your feelings, genuinely offended you, or what they did, or, you know, set boundaries in your friendships, relationships, and everything, right? And I think that you don't need to do that in a disrespectful way. I'm not saying that you need to go slap in people's faces, for example, right? You shouldn't slap anybody. You shouldn't physically go or insult them and call them out of their name. I think you should have a civilized conversation with this person and tell them your honest truth. Just tell them, hey, when you didn't invite me to your birthday party, it upset me because I thought that we were really close, and I don't know. This is just an example. And when you don't invite me to things, I feel like I am not important to you. And that's a valid feeling, right? All of your feelings are valid. If one of my friends said, "Hey, Kat, you didn't invite me to your birthday party," but they were coming at me in a peaceful manner, I'd 9 times out of 10, I'd probably, like 10 out of 10, I think, now where I'm at in my life, I would just sit there and be like, "I'm so sorry that I offended you. Here's the reason why I didn't invite you. Maybe it's because previously when I've invited you to places, you've told me straight up that you hate going to birthday parties. You hate birthdays." And, you know, I kind of remember that, and me being your friend, I was kind of more coming off of a thoughtful way and being like, "Oh, I know that you hate birthday parties, so I didn't invite you because I didn't want you to feel uncomfortable. You know, I figured maybe me and you could hang out and go watch a movie on my birthday and have more of an intimate setting because I know that's what you're more comfortable with." And I think that if we just took the time to hear what people have to say, 9 times out of 10, you'll understand the other person's train of thought, and maybe you don't agree with them, but you could respect how they came about feeling that way, right? Because not everything is a personal attack on you and your character. And I think that's a very important thing to realize, right? Is that not everything is about you. Maybe it's about them, right? I know I've had conversations with my friends personally in the past that were tough. You know, I don't want to sit here and be like, "Hey, I need you to be a better friend to me." But at the same time, it's hurting me more to not tell you why I'm hurt in this situation. And whether or not, listen, you have to be okay with whatever the other person decides. If they get offended and they're like, "Hey, F you, I'm out. Fuck you. I'm out. Right? Let them get out. Go. Let them go. I think that people who really fuck with you, who are really down for you, will listen to you with respect and love and embrace whatever you have to say, whether they agree with it or not. And I think that that's an important and healthy thing to do in any relationship, whether it's friendship, coworkers, anything of the sorts, right? Significant others. I think it's very important that honest communication and not being very passive when it comes to something that's super important to you. And when I say that, I mean, like, maybe you shouldn't get insulted about a tweet somebody said, right? Because maybe it's not about you. And because you think the shoe fits, you get offended and you're like, fuck this person, I'm never talking to them again. When in reality, it had nothing to do with you. It was about Susan from last Tuesday that made them upset, and they're just thinking about it. But you think it's about you, and you got upset, and now you're not friends with this person anymore, and they meant a lot to you. So I think that's just something to think about. I don't know. But, I mean, what do you guys think? Okay, so segueing off of that, because I kind of went to it. I know. Okay, so if you don't listen to, or if you don't not listen, if you don't watch The Bachelor and you don't want to hear about it, I think this is going to be the end of the podcast for you, maybe. But if you do listen to The Bachelor, then stay and grab your popcorn, because I got some juice and some sauce for you that I've kind of like detected. Okay, I'm like a fangirl over the Bachelor franchise. Like, I love watching reality TV, specifically The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. I listen to podcasts about it and everything, guys. Like, it's an unhealthy obsession that I have. So I was listening to a podcast hosted by Dustin and Peter. It's called Bachelors in the City, and it's a Bachelor related podcast, but they don't always talk about Bachelor things. They kind of touch on, I feel like they always talk about Bachelor things, but they also touch on like other things that are going on in their lives. So here's what I'd gathered. If you guys remember Peter Weber, Pilot Pete, if you will, if that's how you know him. Okay, so he has a podcast. Like I said, I was listening to the podcast, and suspiciously, Dustin and him were just having a casual conversation about how one of their friends, quotation marks, are going on the new season of The Bachelorette. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, Rachel and Gabby are dual bachelorettes, right? So excited. I love them both. I'm really excited for this new season to come. Anyway, they were talking about how they know somebody that's going on and how it's a really close friend of theirs. And Peter's kind of like, oh, who is it? Because Dustin was like, oh, it's one of our friends. You know him really well. And I was like, huh? And Peter was kind of acting stupid and kind of acting like he didn't know. And when I say stupid, I mean he like was acting like he was oblivious and had no idea what was going on, when I know damn well he was acting, and he knows why. He knows exactly who's going on. And here's how I've gathered that, right? I was listening to I was listening to the podcast, and they were talking about the friends, and then they were talking at the end of the podcast, they were saying that Peter's going on some other things, and he's going to be doing some other things, and how he's going to how they're going to have Clay, another one of their friends, be a special co-host while Peter's off doing some business, quotation marks, right? And here's why here's what I gathered from that. I think that Peter Weber is going to be on this new season of The Bachelorette as a contestant, not as a host, not as anything else, as a contestant fighting for the love of Rachel or Gabby. I think it's Rachel, but it could be Gabby. He likes a fun personality, but I think it's Rachel because they would be really cute and piloty, and they'd be flying around the world. together, and I think it would be really fucking cool. But yeah, that's my thing. I if you watch The Bachelor, let me know if this is what you got from that. Like, listen to the snippet of The Bachelor and in Bachelors in the City podcast. No promo, but yeah, that's what I think. I think suspiciously, oh, he's suspicious. They know somebody who's going on the podcast is really close to them, but then suspiciously, Peter's just gonna go off and do his own thing for a little bit, and they need a replacement co-host for right now until Peter comes back conveniently. Which I think that because of the coincidence of Peter not being there, I think that it's Peter going on. And this is big news if you like The Bachelor, because there's never been a time where, first of all, there was 2 bachelorettes at the same time, the same season. And there's never been a bachelor that went on, like a previous lead, that went on to be a contestant. There almost was with Hannah Brown coming back to be with Peter, but she ended up opting out and just not going, right? But definitely, I think that's what's going to happen. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below, man. Because I'm curious. Yeah. I was thinking about being a pilot myself, though, but that's for another story. I don't know. Yeah, I got a call, and I might do a free lesson, so I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you guys updated, I promise. But if you guys want to stay updated on the whole Josh not being here thing, stay close to our social medias, because I definitely think that it would be announced on there first rather than an episode on the pod. Like, I don't think we'll just randomly post him back. I think we'll announce that he's back on one of the socials, or on all the socials. So that's JNK Uncensored, not the podcast on any of them. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed just me ranting, let me know. Like, how'd I do? It's my first podcast, all by myself. All by myself. Don't wanna be. Okay, yeah, I don't know. But I'll check you guys for next Tuesday. We're gonna go back onto a regular schedule, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. I love you guys. Stay golden. If golden rule thumb or whatever. If you need a break, take a break. Don't overwork yourself. Love yourself. Keep striving. Stay strong. I love you. Josh loves you. And he'll be back soon. And I'll be back next week. Bye.